All right. Hello and welcome to your live Wednesday advanced training. My name is Jared Krebs. I am here in San Antonio, and I have a special guest with me today who's going to share his USANA story. But before we bring him on, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs, just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of the person who invited you to USANA. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent and be an independent example for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekends, do it, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, and adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to become competent at the skills to do this business. It's going to take 3 years to develop a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to develop a full-time income and 7 years to become world-class. It's going to take time. It can happen faster. It can happen faster, but it's going to take time. Okay, number six, it takes consistency, consistent work and hustle. Number seven, you're going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. All companies have the same ups and downs, the same prospects, the same everything. The grass is greener where you water it. And people are making it big in USANA, so it's good to stay. And number 10, this is a long-term game. USANA is 25 years strong with over $2.5 billion paid to its associates. It's helped me and my wife have a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands of people around the world who have a full-time income. And hundreds of thousands have made a part-time income, no joke, with USANA. So, last bonus tip. Amateurs sell products, professionals sell the vision. Make sure you share everything that USANA has to offer with your prospects, including the great finances, the personal growth and development, and the health. Few have done it as well as top earning Emerald Director Raul Izasmendi Lara out of Mexico, who is here to share his story. Raul, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your story with our team, with the USANA Fit family. You and I have grown through the ranks over the years. We've seen each other at conventions for like 10 years or more, and it's been so fun to watch you succeed and really do well with your USANA lifestyle. And so we want to know what your life was like before USANA. What were some of the challenges that you had to overcome? Who introduced you? Also, how have the products impacted your health? And what are challenges you overcame while building your business as well? And what is your life like today? Thank you, USANA.
Well, thank you, my friend, for the invitation. It's really an honor to be here with you. I've been so blessed by USANA. Extremely, I'm extremely thankful to God for the opportunity of getting to know people like you. I think that in USANA we get to share. Row and sip and row, is that a phrase you use, like sembrar y cosechar? We row all the time in terms of I've gotten the opportunity to learn from so many people through the years, and I've been so blessed because it's not the destination, it's who you become through the
along the way. That's right.
Along the way, exactly. And
yes.
I apologize for my English. I mean, my first language is Spanish, so I'm gonna do my best.
Great. Your English sounds great. Can you set the phone down though, so it's still? Yeah, that'd probably be better because we want to focus on your story. It's gonna be awesome. Your English rocks, though. Your English rocks.
Thank you, my friend.
All
right. I was telling you, I wanted to sit. I'm like sitting poolside right now.
Oh, you're poolside. Cool.
I'm sitting poolside. Just talking a little bit from where I'm coming from, right? So I'm a single child from my parents. They didn't get the opportunity to study college or university. So I remember being a single child with working parents, and I remember seeing them working so hard to give me like the best opportunities to succeed in life. So I got to study industrial engineering. This is in Ensenada, an hour south, like from San Diego. And I remember graduating from industrial engineering and struggling the first year after graduation, a lot, struggling to make ends meet. So I got to go to work to Tijuana, which is an hour north of Ensenada, just in the border with San Diego. And my experience there, here in Tijuana, where you have your house, I got to work for 10 years for like manufacturing companies. I got to study a master's degree in industrial management, and I got to work as a supply chain manager. This was within 10 years. So to me, this was an incredible blessing, considering where I was coming from in terms of, uh, you know, not seeing my parents all the time. Like, remember growing up pretty much by myself. And I remember, thinking that I didn't want it to, for my kids to leave that situation. I wanted to be with my kids and stuff. So through my 10 years in manufacturing, I got to experience the highs and lows. So I got to, I got a good salary, but I didn't have any time, and I didn't have any quality of life. So I remember at what point, to me, USANA was like an answered prayer, right? Because I was at this point in my life where I wanted more out of life. I remember this point in time in my life where USANA came into my life, where I felt the lowest of the lows in reality, where I was making just to get by. The atmosphere where I was working was very acid, like very toxic. So, my uncle Julio Lara, he's the one that introduced USANA to my life. So this was like very casual, nothing very set up. Like, I was visiting my mom. My uncle used to be my mom's neighbor. So he saw me pass by, and he called me, and he started to talking about Dr. Wentz's vision and the products and stuff. So, and I this was strange to me because he's still a businessman, right? So I was wondering, how come a businessman is talking to me about vitamins and the vision of a doctor and antioxidants and stuff like that. So I was curious. I heard him. At the beginning, I said, I don't think USANA is for me. Why? Because I was an industrial engineer. I was doing good at the time, not great at the time, but I was thinking, I don't have any time for this, to do this. I was like an internal auditor. I was like a Six Sigma, like quality control auditor as well. So, I thought to myself, I don't have time for this. But the, you know, thinking back, I mean, sometimes when you work for someone, you think that is your life. I mean, that is your life. When in reality, you're working for someone else's business, not necessarily your own business. So, I started the business. I thought to myself, that I wasn't necessarily a right fit to do the business, because my nature, in nature, I'm like quiet. I'm not very outspoken. I'm not good at selling. Those were my initial thoughts, right? So, but what I connected was just with the fact that I could earn an extra income. So that was my first motivation. And I heard once from a very successful uh, business person in network marketing. I heard him say that if you can be successful in this industry, and he said, I don't know, I don't know you, but how did you become good at what you're doing right now? I mean, at doing it, you had to do it, right? So if there is something in this industry that you think you're not very good at, it's better if you study it, take a course, read a book, go to a training seminar, study in that thing or aspect that you think you're not very good at. And it's better to do that than to live all your life without living the life you want, like the dream life you want, right? So after I heard that, I said to myself, well, if I'm not very good at inviting or presenting or following up, it's better to develop that skill than to run from that skill and live the life that I really don't like, right? So that's the way I started. I In the first 6 months, we advanced to the rank of leader. First 6 months, and I remember the first time the leaders in the city in Tijuana, they asked us to talk about our give a health and freedom presentation. I was so nervous. I was so extreme nervous that I didn't eat like for you know since they told me to the time that I got to do the presentation. So I have to say it hasn't been easy necessarily, not my nature like to speak in front of people, but it's something that I'm passionate about because I don't think about myself, but I'm thinking about how can I serve other people, right? So um like the first just talking a little bit about personal development. When I first met USANA, I was working as a supervisor, earning about in dollars at that time. I'm going back like 13 years back. This was 2008. I was working as a supervisor, making about, I don't know, maybe $200 per week. So in personal, when you go into USANA, you grow as a person. Like there's a law, like the law of process talks that you have to work on yourself, then so that you can take action and then obtain whatever you want, right? So you have to work on yourself. So once I worked on myself, like personal development, everything started to grow. My business started to grow. My At my work, I was becoming better at my work, so I changed jobs, and I got to from supervisor making like $200 per week. I grew to supply chain manager like within a year. This isn't my job, so I got to do better in my job. I got to do better in USANA. So that it came to a point where I was making a very good income, like as a supply chain manager, and a very good income in USANA. I was at this point I was making like $1,000 per week after like 2 years into USANA, like part time. So this is where we took a decision. My wife and I took a decision to work full time in USANA. So this is going back to 2008. I'm sorry, I enrolled in 2005. This is 2008. So I quit my job as a supply chain manager. Why? Because I wanted to take control of my situation, and I didn't want to give that power to the company I was working with, it, so that they would let me go, because that's what happens, right? When you work with someone for a company, eventually I got to see companies grow to 3,000 people, and then contract like to 800 people, and I got to see a lot of friends let go. So I want to take control of my life. So this is 2008. We rank advanced like in 8 months to Ruby. So at this point, something that I had never done in my life is, the fact I already mentioned that my parents worked all the time. They struggled financially, and I didn't get to spend time with them. So at this point, I take my dad, and we got to my wife. I got my wife, like my mother-in-law, my dad, and myself. We got the car and drove like 3 weeks all through Mexico, visiting different cities. There's a beautiful trip from Sinaloa, like Los Mochis, to La Barranca del Cobre in Chihuahua. So we got to do that. We got a ferry. We traveled with the car through the sea to Los Cabos and La Paz. This is south of the Baja California South, and then go back to Tijuana. So this is, I had never had the opportunity to do this before. With travel with my dad, spend quality time with my dad, and after that, I remember, my mom used to work for a bank, and I remember she telling me that. That she get to know, wealthy people, and she got to hear from other people there were cruises, and I remember I was like 9 years old, 10 years old, and I remember, she saying that it was one of her dreams, right, to do a trip like a in a cruise ship. So I remember this is 2009, and I one Mother's Day, my wife and I wanted to give her a gift. I actually to my mother and my mother-in-law. So we paid our mothers a full trip, like everything paid, like the airfare, food and stay. We got to travel to Barcelona, and we got a cruise ship with USANA, a cruise ship from Barcelona to Italy to France, like the French Riviera, right? So we went back to Barcelona, and we traveled. Then after the cruise ship, we traveled 1 week to Paris. So we're in Paris. We're grabbing a tour guide, a tour bus, and I remember as if it were right now, seeing my mother's face when we were arriving to the Louvre Museum, right? Like the Crystal Pyramid. And I remember her face, like probably with like a kid in Disneyland, seeing like all the magic. I mean, that I can't forget that feeling of giving something back to my parents after they worked very hard all of their life. So no, we got the opportunity. I quit my job. We were doing great in USANA. We were actually 2009. We were growth 25, fourth place, growth 25. So we were really extremely blessed. My wife and I got to live a life where we got to spend every day together, where we woke up when we finished sleeping, right? And a life, a dream life. We got to travel and do everything. So I want to get to a point in my story, because I think it's very relevant to what we're striving for. Um, and in 2015, my wife was in a car accident, and she actually died in this car accident. So this is January 2015, and when that happened, I was obviously, everything was turned upside down. But the feeling that I got was with great thankfulness to God for the all the opportunities that we got to to be together, to travel together, to do everything together. So I'm alone with my son, right? So in that instance, I don't know if anyone has gone through that similar situation, but you're torn apart, right? So I got the opportunity to spend time by myself, to grieve, to live all this situation. And the awesome part is that all all the hard work that we did all the years prior to the accident, I didn't get to work. I mean, every day or every week or every month. I could spend time with my son. We actually changed houses. We went to an apartment, like a very expensive apartment. And I got to work on that. um, so I'm very, very extremely thankful for you, Sana, for that opportunity. And then you know life, God is very good. So one of my dreams was, actually one of my dreams that I had with my wife is that we wanted to build a family. So we weren't able to have a family, to get pregnant. So we tried like many years. So we got to adopt a child. So my son, right now I have a 7-year-old son. He's adopted. But God gave me the opportunity to meet someone through USANA. Actually, she is actually a child psychologist. So I met her through USANA, but I wanted to take my kid to her, to to heal and everything else. So we got started a relationship, um, and we actually got married in 2017, May 2017. So right now, I got the opportunity to rebuild my life. Right now, my wife is pregnant. We're 7 months in our pregnancy, and I've been extremely blessed in terms that as an only child, I have time. My parents are separated, so I have the opportunity to, any day I want, any day I need, I can travel to Ensenada, be with them, um, and provide for them for whatever they need. At the same time, something that and this is life, right? Things happen. Last year, 2018, like in at this point of the year, it was May, June. My dad got very sick, very very. He was living alone. He didn't have a partner, a wife, or anything. So as an only child, I brought him with me here to my house. I got 3 weeks at the hospital, attending his needs. And this was a very rough time, because he was very ill. So eventually he got out of the hospital, but I got to spend the nights in the hospital. I got to spend the days in the hospital, and this was only able because of my USANA business. If I had a job, I don't know what I would have done, because the hospitals, at least here in Mexico, they don't let you leave a family member not attended in the hospital, and it's not easy. If I don't have a brother, his all his family is in Mexico City. It's like 3 hours flat away, so it wasn't easy to get someone with my dad. So I got the opportunity to spend time with them. Eventually I brought him to my house. I hired someone for rehab, because he couldn't, his nutrition wasn't very good. So I got like all of 2018, got to attend my dad, at the same time, be a full-time parent, be a full-time husband. So you know my dad right now is okay. He's fully recovered. I'm being able to pay for his care at a care home. He's very well attended. I talk to him pretty much every day, and it's a blessing again. And again, all the things that I've learned in terms of businesses, I've been able again to actually expand some of my income into other passive incomes. I have a business in Ensenada where I build like spaces that I rent, um, spaces that I rent to other people that have other businesses, and I have a place where people gather, and they rent this place for parties and stuff. So I got to expand, but through USANA again, through this personal development, and all the things that I've learned through other USANA leaders, as yourself, Jared. I mean, you don't know how much I follow you. I follow many USANA leaders, because today I have the opportunity to share my story with you. But I've heard hundreds of stories from other leaders that have inspired me to take action, to build a USANA business. As any other business, is not easy, because you may get inspired now, but once the connection ends, once you're by yourself and you have to do the call, you have to do the follow-up, and people leaves you, they don't attend, the meeting, or what you had agreed to. Those times are hard, but if you go back to the essence of why you're building this, not thinking about the present, but what you're building towards in the near future, I think that's extremely powerful. I believe more in inspiration than motivation. Motivation is external, and it's very useful. It's very powerful, but inspiration comes from within, right? Comes from that fire within, that what your purpose in life is about. So USANA is this vehicle that gives us the opportunity to build this business with a team that creates these kinds of tools that you can connect every week and learn and inspire and be inspired, and craft get strength to do what sometimes you're not able to do by yourself. So this is an extreme blessing to have such a powerful vision, Dr. Wentz's vision, with an extremely powerful product that, as we know, has blessed in health. People for so many lives have been improved because of the product, and the team that we have that we get to work with. Again, we're cross lines, but to me is such an honor, such a blessing to be able to share this information with you, my story. And it hasn't ended. I mean, I'm still building. I'm very passionate. I'm very passionate with the meeting other people that are also committed to building their own dream, but sharing the same vehicle, right? We're sharing the same vehicle, but we're building towards different dreams. So I'm pretty sure that that you all of you that are connected right now have a dream, maybe a clear dream. Again, when I started USANA, I don't know from the ones that are connected. I don't know how many months or years have you been in USANA, but at the beginning, I was only striving to make an extra income. What that with that transformed to is a passive income, powerful passive income, um, that helped me find my passion. Because I can tell you that my passion, my what I strive for every day is to be happy, right? Because sometimes we get lost. We get lost in terms of we want to get the car, the house, the trips, the money in the bank, whatever. But I think that what we should strive for every day is to have balance in our life, to be happy, and to build the conditions that enable us to be happy. And what I'm talking about is to have quality time, not just time to spare, like to have time to spend on your passion. If it's serving, if it's traveling, if it's spending quality time with with your family. Like for example, I get to drive my kid every day to school, right? I get every day to drive my kid to school. I pick him up at school. We drive back at our house. We eat together. My wife, expecting wife, my son, myself. That I didn't have that opportunity when I was growing up. So sometimes we take things for granted, but in reality it's something that I'm very thankful to God for the opportunity, again, to build this business with USANA. But so what I was trying to say in terms of balance is that we have to spend we have to have time to spend time with whatever we're passionate about. The other aspect is we need health. We need to be healthy, right, to enjoy life. So this is where USANA comes in, because we not only have the opportunity to take the best nutritional supplements, but also we get to learn from very passionate entrepreneurs in the field of health, right? So we get to learn a lot of how to be healthy and how to be happy. And the other aspect is to create a passive income, so that we're not worried about money every day, right? So this is the balance I'm talking about, like financial freedom, health, and quality time. So this is what I strive for. So what I strive for is to be happy and to connect with other people that are also striving to have more out of life. And I heard from Simon Sinek. I love Simon Sinek. In his video, I don't know if you've heard of this video. It's very famous in TED Talks. And he talks about like the finding your why, right? And there's something that he mentioned in this 19-minute talk, that it's one of the most famous TED Talks of all time. It's actually that you can find it as how do great leaders inspire through life, right? So he talks about Martin Luther King, he talks about Steve Jobs, and he mentions that all the great leaders that have inspired through time are the leaders that talk about why they do why they do what they do, right? Because many know what they do. Some know how they do what they do. But few know really why they do what they do. But something that I got from this Simon Sinek talk is that we, in reality, the objective, and I'm trying to translate it because I know it in memory in Spanish, but I'm trying to translate it in my mind. So the objective is not to connect with all the people that need what you have. In USANA, we have the opportunity to share something that can help you, um, um, have a detox. You can lose weight. You can feel more energy. You can be better. You can be healthy. You can have your own business. You can have a lot of things. You can provide a lot of things. So again, what Simon Sinek said is the objective is not to connect with all the people that need what you have, but to connect with people that believe what you believe. To connect with people that believe what you believe. So what do you believe? So this
Awesome.
is
No, Raul, thank you so much. I just wanted to say, because we're out of time, what is
okay.
your last piece of advice you want to give to everybody to end the call? Because this is such great. First of all, I love everything you said. Thank you for sharing parts of your story that were like hard, right? I mean, losing your wife like halfway
Yeah.
through, and like, I mean, it's crazy. Like you had to go through that, but thank goodness you had your USANA business to be there for you financially while you were able to heal. And
Yeah.
then also the mindset to be able to move forward and create a new life with a new woman. And it's awesome now again,
Yes.
and then that your business helped you be there for your dad and take care of him in his time of need. And like
Yes.
all these things, it's like the USANA business is such an asset. Um,
Yes.
and so it's so important to build it while you have your health, while things are
Yes.
going well, because
Yeah.
inevitably life happens. So what's your last piece of advice just to end our call? We have so many people saying, Adriana Perez, I love the last part. Phyllis Walker, amazing and inspirational story. Clara Martinez, I'm so bawling right now. Very inspirational. I love hearing all of God's grace through your story. Um, Pretty awesome. So yes, please tell us, what is your last piece of advice?
Well, the last part is probably the ones that I was addressing, because sometimes you talk to, let's say you talk to 10 people, and not all of them are interested in enrolling in USANA or being part of your business. But if you understand that the objective is connecting with people that believe what you believe, then you'll understand that not everybody believes what you believe, or at least not at that point. So we have the power to inspire and to move people from where they are to where they want to be, and inspire through your story and through your why. So again, if in my case, my why is to be happy through a balance in life, with health, time freedom, and financial freedom. And that's key to understand that not everybody is going to want what you want, and to find this balance in life, right? So just be patient, and keep sharing.
Ooh, that's such great advice. I've never quite heard it that way about thinking about finding people who believe what you believe, or who are aligned like, and who think like you think. But it's so true, as I recall, or on my experience. It's like, yeah, the people who have been my best partners in business with USANA were those people. And there was lots of people who weren't like that, that it just wasn't for them at that time and whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely great advice. And that can help from being discouraged, right? Because we go through a lot of rejection, and that's kind of part of the game. But there are people out there, they're waiting for you. Well,
Yes.
Raul, thank you again for your time. Thank you for sharing your story. You really inspired a lot of people. We actually have people watching on our Facebook Live as well. And we just really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And Dad, can you please unmute the lines and everyone say thank you, Raul, and have an awesome day.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Raul.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Have an
God
awesome
bless.
day.
Thank you.
Bye. I'm
Thank
gonna
you, my
call
friend, for
you.
the invitation. Bye bye.